It's taken them a few games to start to learn how Vitor Gyökeres moves and what he wants and what he brings to the team, right? What I saw after he left yesterday wasn't satisfactory at all, wasn't encouraging at all. Merino was fumbling with the ball. Not, of course, I don't expect him to make the runs that Gyökeres makes. He's never that kind of player, but I expected more ball security from him. He just couldn't secure the ball. He couldn't, link up the play the way he was supposed to. Something was off. But that tells me that I'm scared of him, Eucharist injury. Kai Havertz is not ready to come back. Neither is Jesus.
Yeah.
And my next.
Watch Frustrate TV right now.
Arsenal 2, Burnley 0. Or Burnley 0, Arsenal 2. Tough more. Arsenal went in there, did their business. And I don't know, for me, what really stood out for me was the way at which Arsenal control games now and manage games. When they take a lead, as I was watching the game yesterday, I sat and I was like, if I were to be an opponent fan or opponent coach or player, it must be frustrating trying to figure out how to play against this team. First of all, to stop them from scoring you, either from set piece or anything. And if they manage to score, how do we even get at this play? I think they're gotten to a point where teams now have to decide, okay, they're going to beat us, but we're going to try to put them under some pressure to if they score 10, let them score 10, but let's try and do something. Because the way it's going now, nobody can even see how Arsenal concede a goal. Another clean sheet, 7 now.
Well, it was an amazing game in terms of intensity, and I mean, I've used these words over and over. And what I have at the back of my mind when I use them is what I saw Arsenal do yesterday. 2-0 down, 20 minutes to the end of the game. Burnley were starting to find their feet, starting to put passes together, even going towards Arsenal's final third. And I saw a bunch of players fight and fight and fight every single ball, every second, every rebound. They fought for everything. It was incredible. Zubimendi was there, Declan Rice was there, all over the place. They're tackling everything. They walked and walked and walked and walked. And what was the work about? Work was, hey, prevent a shot and keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, and they reduced Burnley to a 0 shot on target. There was one that hit the bar, but I hear it's classified. It's not classified as a shot on target. So another shot out for Burnley yesterday. Another team not getting a shot on target.
Yeah.
But let me ask you one very interesting question. Sorry, I don't know. Are you done?
Go on. Yeah, go on.
So Arteta after that game said Gyökeres felt something and Zubimendi as well. I've been intrigued. I'm trying to figure out how, and we saw that when both of them left, I don't know if it was more of Gyökeres or both of them, though Zubimendi still played second half a little bit, how the team performed. I don't know. What do you think would be the impact of not having Gyökeres? Arsenal has not been playing with the striker for a long time, but since this season, Gyökeres has been a main ingredient in the way Arsenal has applied themselves. And we could see a different Arsenal in the second half when he was not there. There's been made in transition as well. So what do you think is going to be the impact of these two players if they are to miss the next game?
If they're to miss against Sunderland, it will be very impactful. These are two of the most impactful players that Arsenal have had this season. It's taken them a few games to start to learn how Vitor Gyökeres moves and what he wants and what he brings to the team, right? What I saw after he left yesterday wasn't satisfactory at all, wasn't encouraging at all. Merino was fumbling with the ball. Of course, I don't expect him to make the runs that Gyökeres makes. He's never that kind of player. But I expected more ball security from him. He just couldn't secure the ball. He couldn't, link up the play the way he was supposed to. Something was off. But that tells me that I'm scared of him, Yokere's injury. Kai Havertz is not ready to come back. Neither is Jesus.
Yeah.
And my next alternative would have been Gabriel Martinelli playing through the middle because he makes those kind of runs. But again, he is not fit. Yeah, so you see the injuries are starting to bite as much as the team has done well without some of these players. So I wouldn't hate for Gyökeres to be out for our next game. Same thing with Zubimendi. He has been the force, behind even the upturn in form for Declan Rice.
Declan Rice.
Rice is now able to move everywhere. You see him everywhere on the pitch because of the platform that Martin Zubimendi, creates. And this is without drama, without any attracting any attention, just there working. Now, I was listening to a podcast, and this people made a very interesting point, which I really like. Yeah, the way that Mikel Arteta has been using fullbacks. This is yet again one other thing that Mikel Arteta has introduced that he's not getting any credit for. A lot of things that guy has introduced, that other coaches are copying, things are happening. You would think that it's just the same thing that every other person does, but when you look at the way he deploys his fullbacks, now it's not just what do they call that language? Drifting into the middle.
Inverting.
No, it's not just inverting. These fullbacks that are supposed to be inverting, you constantly see them at the top of the 18-yard box, creating and trying to score goals, right? You see them making reverse passes. Somebody like Calafiori, that's a complete maverick of a player. You see him taking shots with his right foot, shots that you would not expect a left back to be taking at that position.
On his weaker foot.
On his weaker foot. And you look at a bunch of players that a coach has, but the ones he signed, he's signed all of them. None of these players that he has signed and he's using is at the level that he was when he joined the club. I dare say that.
Yeah, you're 100%
none
correct.
of them.
100% correct. As a matter of fact, to add to that, people now say Arsenal have good players, but when we assign those players, somebody rated those players as one of the best. Instead of people to give Arteta credit for developing these players, what I hear now that they sign good players.
Yes. So from Gabriel Magalhaes, that's become a beast of a player, right? That didn't have a sniff into the Brazilian national team. He's at a point now where if he doesn't play for Brazil,
they don't win.
Yeah, they are likely to lose. So, you talk of William Saliba. We can go through everything. It's just people have got to give this man some credit. This guy is a student of the game, has sat down and trust me, just like Wenger did and developed a bunch of brilliant coaches. Look, you check out these players that are playing for Arteta now in the next 10 years. Yeah, a few of them will become amazing coaches. Because of what they are learning.
Yeah, by the way, let me ask another interesting question. So now, if there's no Zubimendi, will you play Declan Rice as a 6 or you play what's his name, Nogard?
I'll play Nogard as a 6 because Declan Rice, I wouldn't want to lose what he's bringing in right now. And this is based on the fact that I trust Declan Rice to sniff out when opponents are attacking. He is a very smart player.
He did that.
He's not being given the credit.
What he did yesterday,
right?
Man, that boy, man.
He's not being given the credit he deserves. So if you allow him that, if you put him at number 6, you're kind of regimenting him and telling limiting what he brings to the table. So you might as well keep a sitting 6, allow him rove, and he will trust him. He will help out that 6.
Yeah, but the issue I have with that, the reason why I asked you that question is I don't think Nogard is actually a 6. Nogard is also a box-to-box player. And the Rice seems to be more disciplined than him when he plays in that position. I saw him yesterday. He was all over the place. He's always tempted to go forward and press. And that's not how Zubimendi plays our 6. The player that we had that is close to Zubimendi in that position is Declan Rice. So it's going to be interesting what Arteta is going to do with these two. Then up front, like you said, for Eucharist, I think Trossard probably might be the player that will play in that role for me because of what we saw yesterday. Maybe what's his name? Merino begin to forget what he did last season. If he can get back to what he was last season, it won't be bad to have him there. Martinelli, of course, fitness. If he was fully fit, yeah, maybe yes. But because he's coming back from injury, I don't know if it's going to be good enough for him to be playing that role. And even if he was, I think sometimes that pace works well when he disguises his runs from that wing and run into the middle of the defense. As again, it's a different thing when you are actually playing in that role. It takes a lot of intelligent and smart moves to make sense of it. But when you're playing as a winger and you disguise and make late runs behind the center halves, it's a lot easier for you to find those spaces. So it's going to be interesting to see what Arteta is going to do about. I don't know what you think about those
Yeah, the points for the points you made, I disagree, but not God.
Okay.
I do not. I think he has a defensive discipline from what I've seen. Again, perhaps I haven't watched intently for that, which I want to do moving forward.
Yeah, take it. What I mean is, I know he can defend, can tackle. I'm talking about his positioning. It looks he looks to me more like a box to box, and he wasn't a defensive DM for Brentford. It was like box to box. It was a guy that was thinking, just like what the guy does for Arsenal. I think that was what he was doing for Brentford as well. He can play there, but I want a little bit more of security and somebody that, because what you said earlier on, people like Jurgen Timber and Calafiori, they bump forward, they're all over the pitch. So we need somebody that will have that intelligence to know that things can go wrong either flank and be there to cover it. Because if you remember yesterday, toward the end of the game, Noga actually was in front of the 18-yard. In fact, he drove past everybody and took a shot. So I'm like, what is he doing here? He's supposed to be the one behind the attack because that's the way I look at football. They say football is played in triangles. That pivot, that's what they call a pivot. He had to always try and make sure that you are the one, sitting behind as the game progresses. Because if there's any turnover, you need somebody to at least, be there to stop the opponent. Like you said, the Carras has that intelligence. So let's see what Arteta is going to do. Unfortunately, they have a game on Tuesday. I don't know if that will give us an idea what Arteta is going to do because it might come too quick for some of these players. And I wouldn't want to rush Gyökeres or Zubimendi even if they say they are fit for the game on Tuesday. I wouldn't play them on Tuesday. I mean, Champions League, we're almost one leg into the next stage.